Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the November 8th edition of Carolina Week.
A popular drink among college students is stirring up controversy across the country and on UNC's campus.
One UNC athlete turns her personal fight against cancer into a triumph for others.
In sports, the football team pulls off a miracle, and Carolina basketball is back in action.
Weathercaster Kathy Evans will tell us how long we can expect these cool temperatures to last.
All of that and a professor who pulls double duty.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Binge drinking has long been a problem on many college campuses. Good evening, I'm Andrea Lutka.
And I'm Megan Cassell. Now, some students have discovered a way to binge by having just one drink. Gabrielle Singh tells us a new high-powered mixture of alcohol and caffeine has some students buzzed and concerned campus administrators buzzing.
It's called Blackout in a Can or liquid cocaine. The caffeinated malt beverage Four Loko has quickly become the drink of choice for some college students. The mix of alcohol and caffeine, fruity taste and low price is a potent combination that's creating a full force effect across the country. Last month, 9 students at Central Washington University were sent to the hospital after binging on the drink. Here in Chapel Hill, Rosemary Mart owner Jared Polivka said he's sold roughly 200 cans in the past week.
I think they're popular because they taste so good. I mean, they're really, really strong and they get you drunk quickly, and they're really colorfully marketed.
Doctors here at Campus Health equate 1 can of Four Loko with roughly 5 to 6 beers and 12 ounces of caffeine. That means a 140-pound person drinking 1 can in an hour can rapidly gain the blood alcohol level of 0.13. Here at UNC, the Dean of Students, Dean Blackburn, says they are concerned about the level of alcohol accessible in one container and the access underage students have to it.
Look at their target audience. You know, it's young people. To say that that's who your target audience is and to market it in that capacity and then say you're not responsible for it is irresponsible.
Some students obviously like the feeling a Four Loko gives them. Facebook sites dedicated to the drink have 80,000 fans. Another site called the Loco List is a place to share your drunk activities. And songs like this
straight alcohol, show me who I'm about to call. I'm calling out my main bitch. Give me a
are all over YouTube. Here in Chapel Hill, it was next to impossible to get someone on camera to share their experiences with the drink. The stigma attached to Four Lokos is perhaps simply not worth being associated with. In Chapel Hill, I'm Gabriella Singh, Carolina Week.
Some universities have banned Four Loko and others have issued warnings. UNC is still analyzing the dangers Four Loko presents.
It looks like late-night beer runs will be a thing of the past as Chapel Hill has a new type of delivery service. Rosemary Mart Express is a website designed by 2 former UNC students and a coworker. You place an order and someone delivers beer right to your doorstep. With a focus on allowing you to be safe by not getting behind the wheel, this service allows you to easily order your drinks with the click of a button. Delivery is free and all in under 20 minutes. There are 9 different beers to choose from, as well as 4 Lokos at the moment.
Members of the UNC System Board of Governors are trying to figure out how to deal with the latest round of state budget cuts. The proposed 5 to 10% budget cut could affect spending on academics. UNC System President Erskine Bowles says the system has already trimmed all it can from operating budgets and adds that the next cuts are all academic. In the worst-case scenario, ECU would lose $2.7 million in library cuts. UNC Greensboro would suffer a loss of up to 1,100 course selections, and the BOG is even considering closing entire campuses.
Students could be vulnerable to computer hacking because of a new computer program. The program called Firesheep is an add-on from Mozilla Firefox and allows you to become an instant hacker. Firesheep targets social networking sites such as Facebook and Twitter. It accesses students' computers through public wireless networks provided by the university, and that can put your personal information at risk. The use of Firesheep software is a violation of the Honor Code. A recent UNC alum is helping those just beginning their college journey. Mark Zawell graduated in 2010 with a master's degree from Keenan Flagler Business School. He's trying to help students and their families better understand the admissions process. So he's created a special computer program. This program has both free and subscription services, which include message boards and animated videos explaining the admissions process. You can check it out by going to our website, carolinaweek.org.
The Faculty Athletics Committee actually has some good news to share. Committee meetings have been dominated by the NCAA investigation, but the most recent meeting was about graduation rates for athletes. Last year, UNC's graduation rate was 87%, better than most of our 10 peer institutions, including the University of Florida, the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, and the University of Texas at Austin. The only peer institution that exceeded UNC's number was the University of Virginia, with a reported 89% graduation rate.
Now that star basketball forward Jessica Breland has conquered her battle with cancer, she plans to help children conquer their battles as well. Reporter Alicia Moore tells us how she plans to make a difference.
Breland found out she had Hodgkin's lymphoma in May 2009, but she beat it by February 2010. Ever since her diagnosis, she says complete strangers have asked her about her health, but she says she doesn't mind.
It's a blessing to have so many people to support you and to uplift you and stuff. And a lot of people doesn't, they don't have that. So I just look at it as a blessing.
Breland and coach Sylvia Hatchell started the Comeback Kids Fund in conjunction with the Lineberger Cancer Centers to help raise awareness and funds to fight against cancer. This Saturday, the women's basketball team hosted the Rebounds for Rhinestones Gala to raise money for the fund. Items like this autographed Breland jersey and tickets for the men's 2010 ACC tournament were up for grabs in a silent auction. Breland says she's happy that the proceeds of the event will benefit children with all types of cancer.
This cancer is just one term, when you hear someone that say they have cancer, it's not that, oh, I have breast cancer, I have lung cancer, I have cancer. That's the main term behind it.
Good Morning America's Robin Roberts says she was more than willing to accept her invitation to speak at the event about her battle with breast cancer.
And there were a lot of similarities. I played basketball. She's a much better basketball player than I. But it was just something that I didn't even bat an eye. I didn't even hesitate.
Coach Hatchell says the adversity has actually led to Breland's improvement on the court, especially when it relates to her teammates.
Her leadership abilities have gone out the roof. Before the cancer, you could hardly even get her to talk, and she was more of a support type player. Now she's the lead dog.
Breland says she has had a lot of ups and downs since her diagnosis, especially during chemotherapy, but she says she learned to stay positive.
Tell yourself, you fool yourself and say, this is one of the best days in life. Even if it's one of the worst days, it will become one of the best days. Have faith and keep holding on, because after the storm comes the sun.
And cancer or not, that's something anyone can live by. In Chapel Hill, I'm Alicia Moore, Carolina Week.
Saturday's gala raised more than $57,000 for the Jessica Breland Comeback Kids Fund.
Coming up, we'll show you one local man who travels the world,
brewing up friendships everywhere he goes and promoting one of the world's most popular drinks.
So, you're looking for help with your mortgage. Worried about foreclosure? Messy stuff. We're a mortgage rescue company. We can help you keep your house. All we ask for in return is that you submit to our plans for galactic domination. We're not so different, you and I. Sign.
Yeah, this is not what we...
Have you met my henchman, Radu?
Nice to meet you.
Radu?
We'll see you later.
If you're facing foreclosure, make sure you're talking to the right people. Speak with HUD-approved housing counselors free of charge at 888-995-HOPE.
To you, this is a place to hang a coat. To someone else, it's a place to teach a child a lesson you'll never forget. Preventing child abuse and neglect doesn't just mean reporting it. It means stopping it before it starts. Find out how at preventchildabuse.org or 1-800-CHILDREN. A child is helpless. You are not.
Members of the graduating class of 2011 will be the last to have known former student body president Eve Carson as a fellow student. but her legacy will continue on campus well beyond this May. This Saturday, despite the rain, students geared up to run the Eve Carson Memorial 5K for Education race. Carson died tragically in 2008. Her murderer pleaded guilty to avoid the death penalty. The race helps raise money for First Book, a literacy organization Eve supported, as well as for the Eve Carson Memorial Scholarship. This year's participants raised more than $25,000. Another event contributed to the cause as well. For the second year, the George Watts Hill Alumni Center was the site of the Eve Ball. The event was a costume dance party, and all the money raised will benefit the Eve Carson Scholarship Fund.
November is National American Indian Heritage Month, and UNC is celebrating with the help of the Carolina Indian Circle. The month is dedicated to recognizing American Indian culture and the existence of current tribes. Throughout the month, there will be more than 20 events that range from dance lessons to singing performances by Native American culture groups like Unheard Voices. This is UNC's third year celebrating the Heritage Month. For more information about upcoming events, visit our website, carolinaweek.org. After 3 years on the market, a Chapel Hill landmark finally has a new owner. A longtime resident of Chapel Hill recently purchased the Edward Kidder Graham House, which the former UNC president built 102 years ago. The town was going to demolish the house because it was in such bad shape. But now that a buyer has stepped forward, the home is protected from future demolition. The new owner plans to restore the home to its previous condition.
Lots of us hang out and study in coffee shops, but probably don't know much about the business owners. Reporter Alexandra Press introduces us to one local man whose passion for coffee has earned him international respect.
Scott Connery actively seeks to link coffee and community.
My thing about coffee is that you have this great ability to affect your community. You actually have an impact that's felt around the world.
Connery travels the world in search of the best coffee to bring back to his two cafes, Open Eye Cafe and Cafe Adriati. He seeks to support those local farmers and what they do.
Sometimes we support 9 children by buying these coffees.
And the farmers are grateful for the business.
They ask me, what do people think? Do they like my coffee? Like, they want to know. And that's huge. Like, that's one of the biggest reasons that it keeps me energized about it, is because the farmer wants to know.
And what's Connery's favorite coffee?
That's like picking a favorite child. It's really not possible.
Yet coffee quality doesn't just depend on the farm. A crucial part of the taste comes from the roasting process.
It's the idea of applying heat to the bean to start chemical reactions. Basically, it pops open.
Sort of like popcorn. In addition to searching for coffee, Connery also judges in worldwide barista competitions in order to educate the public about the value of coffee, such as during his most recent trip in October to Dubai.
The educational component is, here's what it really takes to get you your coffee, right? And understanding the costs involved and the work involved and what the true value of that is.
And with Connery's cafes in the U.S., the learning process comes full circle.
We definitely have opened eyes, and that's the pun that's always going to happen. That was part of the mission, and it seems to be working well.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Alexandra Press, Carolina Week.
Connery speaks only a little Spanish and no other language, but has no trouble talking coffee anywhere in the world.
Weathercaster Kathy Evans joins us now in the studio.
Kathy, it's been gorgeous weather. Can we expect it to continue?
We certainly can, Andrea. We're expecting lots of sunshine. Hopefully everybody will get out and enjoy it, just like these students, and you can see that sunshine right there on the leaves. We look for it to continue. I'll have all the details coming up after the break.
Weight loss, it's one of the many ways to fight osteoarthritis pain. For more information on managing pain, go to fightarthritispain.org.
Congratulations! I'm sure you'll have many happy years here. Except for you, because you'll be gone 3 years from now, struck down by the same disease that got your father. Sadly, it could have been detected early with a simple test.
For a list of tests every man should have, go to ahrq.gov.
There's also an extended warranty option. There's just no need for you to get that. You failed to get the test that you needed at the doctor, so you won't be around in 2 years. Okay, sign here, please.
For a list of tests every man should have, go to ahrq.gov.
Everyone has friends.
There's online friends. Friends to go out with on a Saturday night. Friends to hang out with and do nothing. Friends who show up on moving day. And then there are the friends who'll be there if someone is dealing with a mental illness. Are you one of those friends?
Welcome back to Carolina Week. We saw plenty of sunshine this past weekend, and we'll look for that sunshine to continue. Not too much is changing in the forecast. We're looking at some beautiful afternoons for the rest of this week, but we are looking at some chilly nights. Take a look at the satellite. It's very hard to find even a single cloud in the entire eastern half of the United States. There are a lot of clouds, though, off the Atlantic, and that's all due to the low pressure system off the coast we have, but that high pressure system continuing to dominate our side of the United States, and there is an upper low to the northeast of that high pressure system as well. And both these two lows are going to keep that high pressure system packed in for the next 5 to 7 days. So really not too much is changing as we head throughout the next week. If you're headed to Cary for the men's soccer game, they are participating in the ACC tournament. The forecast is going to be absolutely gorgeous for it. Low 70s for Tuesday afternoon with lots of sunshine. And Wednesday, we're looking at temperatures a little cooler in the upper 60s. Good luck to the UNC soccer team at the tournament. In the tropics, we did have Tropical Storm Thomas just 24 hours ago, but thanks to an upper level low, it completely shredded the system apart just to the east of the Carolinas, and there was a lot of dry air too that got enveloped in the system, and it really helped to just completely dissipate it. So Thomas is no more right now, and there is no other threats right now in the Atlantic either, and there's only a few more weeks left of the hurricane season, and hopefully it will remain quiet as we head throughout the next couple weeks. If you're heading about tonight, you might want to have a jacket. It's going to be chilly. Overnight lows will drop into the upper 30s. When you wake up tomorrow morning, though, it'll be clear skies, lots of sunshine. Warming quickly, though. Already by 8 a.m., we'll be in the upper 40s. And by the afternoon time, temperatures will warm up quite a bit. We'll be in the low 70s for this time, but lots of sunshine around. And as we head throughout the next 5 days, you can see all that sunshine in the forecast. Tuesday will most likely be the warmest day with temperatures in the low 70s. And then by Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be back into the mid 60s. Perfect forecast for Veterans Day to honor all of our soldiers. And by the end of the week, we'll look to have the high clouds stream in. Perhaps we'll have a few high clouds at least, and that'll look to hold off temperatures into the low 60s. And overnight, the temperatures will be in the upper 30s to low 40s. So it's going to be chilly at night, but warm sunshine in the afternoon can get much better.
It sounds great. It's been beautiful during the day so far. We're well into November.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's so warm, but we're only a little bit above average for this time of year. Typically, we're in the mid 60s, so not too bad. Upper 60s.
Well, thanks, Kathy.
Thank you.
A little rain can't stop dog lovers in Chapel Hill from coming out to support a cause. Paws Forever held its 5th annual Walk for Animal Protection Saturday morning. Dogs and their owners came from across the Triangle area to support the nonprofit Cat and Dog Adoption Center. Humans and canines alike sported their rain gear to participate in games, contests, and shopping. Each walker paid a $25 registration fee that will go toward maintaining the shelter facility in Mebane.
And sportscaster Justin Page joins us in the studio.
Justin, I turned on that football game this weekend just in time to see the incredible finish.
No, you were certainly lucky to turn on just in time. What an incredible finish Saturday. I'm sure UNC fans had their blood pressure really high towards the end of that game. But coming up after the break, the football team was able to escape with a victory. But on the other hand, it was a rough weekend for Carolina's women's team.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.
Hands can do incredible things. Now they can even help save a life with hands-only CPR. If you see an adult suddenly collapse, just call 911 Then push hard and fast in the center of the chest until help arrives. Learn more at handsonlycpr.org.
Welcome back to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Justin Page. Some fans say the football team caught a break on Saturday against Florida State, while others say the Heels played the game of the season. Either way, Coach Butch Davis and the team are now bowl eligible for the third straight year. Saturday's game in Tallahassee was full of the lucky breaks that Carolina's been missing so far this season. The team scored on its opening offensive drive for the 5th time this year and then held Florida State to only 7 points in the second half. The field goals were the story on Saturday. Carolina kicker Casey Barth went 3 for 3 on field goal attempts. Meanwhile, FSU struggled. The Heels got lucky when Seminoles kicker Dustin Hopkins missed 2 field goals in the fourth quarter, including one in the final seconds that allowed the Heels to hold on for a 2-point win. UNC quarterback TJ Yates was once again the player of the game and even topped his performance against LSU. He threw for a school record 439 yards and 3 touchdowns, including that 67-yard bomb to receiver Dwight Jones. Yates completed 24 of 35 passes, good enough for the top passing performance in the ACC this season. And don't look now, but the Heels are still in the running for the ACC Coastal Division crown. Virginia Tech has a 2-game lead and Miami holds the tiebreaker against the Heels, but just for now, you can't rule anything out just yet. They'll need some help, but if the Heels can win their final 3 games, they could be playing in Charlotte for the ACC title next month. And there you see the schedule. The Heels can dramatically improve their chances of getting to Charlotte by beating the first-place Hokies Saturday afternoon at Kenan Stadium in what is now the biggest game of the season. The Heels then take on Triangle rivals NC State and Duke during Thanksgiving weekend. Saturday's victory sets the Heels up for the stretch run, but comes with a major cost. Senior running back Johnny White fractured his right collarbone. You see the play right there as he goes down in the second quarter of Saturday's game. It's a tough break for White. He's the team's leading rusher with 720 yards and has a team-high 7 touchdowns. And injuries have been a problem all year long for the Tar Heels. White is now the 31st scholarship player to miss at least 1 game this year because of injury or the NCAA investigations. While football season begins to wrap up, basketball season is almost underway, and Carolina is wrapping up the preseason after a weekend exhibition game against Barton. Here's Coach Roy Williams having a little bit of fun before the game, helping fans bring in the new season. But not having so much fun, though, is preseason All-America freshman Harrison Barnes. Barnes struggled to get comfortable in his first game as a Tar Heel, and check this out. He only scored 7 points and turned the ball over 6 times. But the Heels own the area around the basket with Tyler Zeller right there leading all scorers with 25 points. And don't forget about University of Alabama transfer Justin Knox. Check this out, doing some rim rocking himself on the way to a 108-67 Carolina victory. Switching gears, the guys on the men's soccer team are feeling good after making a little history this weekend. Friday night was senior night at Fetzer Field, and you can bet these guys wanted to go out with a bang against Clemson. Now, you can't see him now, but here's senior Michael Farfan putting the Heels on the board with a first-half penalty kick. It was actually his first game back since he injured his leg last month. In the second half, the Tigers came out firing, but goalkeeper Scott Goodwin wasn't having any of it. And then in the 74th minute, Kirk Urso takes the corner, sends it to Dustin McCarty. And what do you think right here? Was that a goal? Well, the refs thought so, giving freshman Robbie Lovejoy his 3rd goal of the season. Carolina wins 2-0 to clinch its first ever ACC regular season title and the #1 seed in the ACC tournament, which Kathy mentioned, which starts tomorrow. Meanwhile, the women's soccer team is trying to bounce back after making the wrong kind of history. The Tar Heels took on Wake Forest in the ACC semifinals Friday night in Cary, and the match remained scoreless until the 50th minute when the Deacs snuck this crazy shot by UNC keeper Hannah Daly, and the ref signals the goal is good. Heels couldn't come up with an answer until Allie Hawkins sets up Megan Klingenberg nicely for this goal with only 3 minutes left in regulation. And after 2 scoreless overtimes, the game came down to penalty kicks. And unfortunately, the Deacs nailed all 5 of theirs, check that out, and the Heels missed 1 off the goalpost to give Wake Forest the win. This is the first time the Heels did not appear in the ACC championship game since the very first tournament in 1988. That's incredible. The soccer team wasn't the only women's team to struggle this weekend. The #2 UNC field hockey team is getting ready for the NCAA tournament after falling short in the ACC championship game Sunday afternoon against Maryland. The Tar Heels kept the game close in the first half with goals like this one from Jacqueline Gaudioso-Radvanny and this strike to the back right corner by Caitlin Van Sickle. But late in the first half, Maryland breaks the 2-2 tie with this goal to give the Terps the lead, and unfortunately, Carolina just couldn't answer. Maryland would pile it on in the second half and get the empty net goal right here to seal the deal. The #1 Maryland Terrapins beat the Heels 5-2 and hand UNC only its second conference title loss in school history. The women's volleyball team is also looking to regroup. After beating Wake Forest Friday night, the ladies looked for a little revenge for a loss to Duke earlier this season. It was a packed house Saturday night at Carmichael to see the ladies take on the Devils, but unfortunately, this match looked eerily similar to the first one. Duke took the first 2 games with kills like this one, and the Heels, they just looked overmatched. Check out this shot right here. Emily McGee tried to rally the Heels with this spike, but it just wasn't enough. Duke once again sweeps the Heels and takes sole possession of first place in the ACC and a full point in the Carlisle Cup. So unfortunately, the ladies weren't able to pull out the victory, but mixed results. Some teams won, some teams lost. Get out to Cary this week and cheer on the men's soccer team as they play for the ACC title.
So Justin, I know the Carlisle Cups are a competition with Duke. What does the winning school get?
Well, the winning school, basically it's just pride's on the line. Carlisle sponsors the competition. UNC won it last year. They won it the year before. They're actually on a pretty good winning streak. I think in 2006, 2007, it was actually a tie, but the Heels got to keep it up.
All right, let's hope they keep it up. Thanks, Justin.
One UNC professor doesn't teach in the classroom only.
Coming up, we'll show you how this professor helps you exercise your mind and your body.
If you have a story idea, call Carolina Week at 919-843-8292 or email us at carolinaweek@unc.edu. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNC-CH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599. Be sure to check out Carolina Week and Carolina Connection online at carolinaweek.org.
Do you like this top? It's so gay.
Really?
Yeah, it's totally gay.
You know, you really shouldn't say that.
Say what?
Well, say that something's gay when you mean it's bad. It's insulting. What if every time something was bad, everybody said, "Oh, that's so girl wearing a skirt as a top"?
Oh, you are.
Those are cute jeans, though. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
One UNC professor teaches both in the classroom and at the gym.
Reporter Kirsten Garris tells us more about her 2 different teaching venues and 2 different teaching styles.
This is Joanne Marshall. She's a professor in the School of Information and Library Science, and students can usually find her here in the depths of Manning Hall. But Marshall is also frequently found in another classroom as a yoga teacher.
It really relates to another whole way of seeing health and how we can live in a healthy way in the world, and how we can be more reflective.
Marshall says the 2 interests complement each other, and the combination makes her a better teacher in the classroom and in the studio.
Although I don't explicitly talk about yoga very much in the class, that my manner and my way of dealing with other people will have an effect on them, that I'm a more effective teacher and a more concerned person.
Marshall also says, just like reading a good book, mindful yoga serves as a form of relaxation from the stresses of life.
When you start to relax and open the body with the yoga poses, your mind starts to open and relax too.
Marshall believes yoga will help her as her career and her life progress.
It's because I think my mind will work better, but also, you know, I want to continue to do what I do as long as I possibly can, with as much quality of life as I can.
She can help you with your quality of life, but if you sign up for one of Joanne Marshall's classes, make sure you know where to find her. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kirsten Garris, Carolina Week.
Well, I think it's great to see that professors here at UNC are taking such an initiative to bring things both in and out of the classroom for students' overall health.
Yeah, it makes everybody very well-rounded here.
All right, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night.